Good morning, guys. So today we are finally going back to Blue to see what we can do about the throwout bearing. Now, when you get a new throwout bearing, it's very possible, and this is something that I've recently learned, it's very possible that your brand new throwout bearing could actually make noises or be bad, which is insane to think, but on new Edge Mustangs that have throwout bearings, it's possible for them just to be bad from the start. So this isn't really anyone's fault. What a lot of people do when they hear cams is this. Okay, so it turns out that my throwout bearing is a Ford Racing throwout bearing. Let me repeat that. The throwout bearing that we got is a Ford Racing throwout bearing. So the throwout bearing that I have that is squeaking right now is a Ford Racing throwout bearing. A lot of people said that the McLeod throwout bearings were bad, so you should get a Ford Racing throwout bearing, right? I've got a Ford Racing throwout bearing. Can you hear that? It's pretty loud. It's pretty there. It wouldn't be that bad if I was like a race car guy, but I'm a cruising type of guy. Most of the time I'm in like fourth gear, like at 45 miles per hour, just kind of cruising, and that's when you hear it the most. My friend Darren got a Ford Racing throwout bearing as well. His also started squeaking. So it's pretty much, a lot of guys say get a Ford Racing throwout bearing. They've been good in my experience. Then other guys have gotten Ford Racing throwout bearings and they've been bad. So I'm going to call McLeod and see if they have a throwout bearing and see if they have any experience or answers for this sort of thing, because you would think that the Ford Racing throwout bearing would be the one to go with. Some of you guys might have Ford Racing throwout bearings and they're great. I got one and some friends of mine got some and they didn't work too well, so we're going to see what McLeod says. I had a question about throwout bearings.
Sure, be able to check the floor. 1 moment, please.
Thank you.
McLeod street level clutch kits include 10.5 Fox body and modular Mustangs.
I'm calling McLeod. Can you hold on just a moment? I got a customer ahead of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
McLeod street level clutch kits include 10.5 Fox body and modular Mustangs.
It's pretty funny. Oh, he like popped in and then it went back to the McLeod Mustang.
Along with the GMLS applications. Now, our street level clutch kits include a high clamp low pressure plate for increased holding power and an organic disc material designed for smooth engagement. These kits are
organic is always better.
With mild bolt-on upgrades.
I want Bay to be healthy, okay? She needs organic food. Listen to that dragster noise.
Hey, I'm calling McLeod. This is Billy. How may I help you?
I had a question about throwout bearings.
Okay, what's your question?
So I recently got a McLeod RST clutch, and I got a Ford Racing throwout bearing, and it's from the start started squealing, and it's really obnoxious. And so some people recommended that I call you guys and just see if it would be better to get an actual McLeod throwout bearing, or if you would recommend that yours are better than Ford Racing, or because I mean I've heard a lot of people will say get a Ford Racing throwout bearing, they're the best, but in my experience from day one it was squealing really loud.
Honestly, my opinion is they're equal.
They're equal.
They're no better than the other.
Okay.
It's a pick 'em. I would tell you to give it some time if you can, because the bearings are sealed and they are packed with the grease, and the grease is very thick and viscous. And what happens is the bearing, it doesn't allow for it to spin freely when they're brand new. And when you have a spinning bearing touching a spinning pressure plate at two different speeds, they will make a high-pitched squeal. But what I have found on the tech line is that people can be patient enough. Most times, the viscosity of the grease will break down. It'll allow for the bearing to spin at the same speed as the pressure plate, and then the noise goes away.
Wow. Well, no one said that. So, I mean,
A lot of people don't know it, and me being on the tech line as long as I have, it's just things you pick up over the years.
Yeah, the last clutch that I had was a center force, and I never liked the clutch, but I never really had throw-out bearing issues until the throw-out bearing went out 5 years into it. And so when I got this, I was like, why is my throw-out bearing squilling from the start? But I guess I've just been told that it's kind of hit or miss. Like sometimes they squill from the start and sometimes they don't. And so does that have to do with that has to do with the grease? That's what's causing that sometimes?
Yeah, the bearing. Like if you were to put it in your hand and you tried to spin it, it'll only spin by the force that you give it. It won't spin past that. And it's because the grease that are packed in those things is inhibiting it from doing that. Gotcha.
How long does it usually take?
I would say give it 1,000 miles.
Give it 1,000 miles. Okay. So far I've been about 350 miles or so. So the clutch is like still being broken in really. But
oh yeah, you still got a long time. You just need to give it a lot of stop and go cycles, and it will break it down.
Gotcha. Well, this is useful. I make YouTube videos as well, so I think this information will help a lot of people because when we got the clutch and it was squilling, everybody was giving me these different reasons to why it was. Some people were saying that whoever put it on for me didn't grease it enough, and I'm like, well, I'm learning about this stuff every time. We just did a full new engine, cams, new transmission, new clutch, and this was the only really annoying issue that came out after everything was done. Well, so they're about the same if it doesn't go away in 1,000 miles, and I did want to get a new one. It wouldn't really make a difference which one I got.
Nope.
Okay.
We don't make them ourselves. We buy them, and I'll almost guarantee you that there's only one bearing manufacturer, and everybody's buying them from the same place.
Gotcha. Well,
Ford doesn't make their bearings either. They outsource them.
Are they getting them made in China, or do you know?
There's a large bearing house that's made in Ohio.
Ohio, okay.
That supplies a lot of the manufacturers.
So most likely the Ford Racing bearing that I got was made in the U.S. and is likely fine. It just hasn't got all the grease circulated off yet.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot more. Like I'm kind of a technical guy, but I'm more of a camera guy, so I can geek out about camera stuff. But when we start talking about like bearings and pressure and grease cycles and stuff like that, I'm like I'm just listening to people. I appreciate it. What was your name?
My name is Billy.
Billy. I really appreciate the help, Billy.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So that was freaking awesome. So Billy from McLeod really helped me out there. Billy, you're awesome. McLeod, great customer service. I've never dealt with their customer service before. That was freaking awesome. I wanted you guys to see all that so that maybe you guys could learn from this as well, because going through this whole throw-out bearing process, a lot of people have just said, well, it's just hit or miss when you get a throw-out bearing. But he's probably gotten thousands of calls about this, so I believe this guy probably knows better than anybody because they probably get calls about this all the time. So once I figured out what was most likely going on with my throw-out bearing, I went and took the car for a drive, and then this happened. Like this happened. So I didn't even do a wide open throttle pull because I'm not supposed to yet. I did like maybe half throttle in second gear for like a second. I was just kind of accelerating with my foot down a little bit. And then I felt like some pressure reduction kind of on the gas pedal. And then it was like the gas pedal was sticking. It scared the crap out of me. I was like, why is my car accelerating when I just barely even touched the pedal? So I get home and then I noticed that this is just disconnected. The problem that I'm having is that I don't know where it goes. I don't see any, like I know it's supposed to go on this bracket somewhere, but I don't see anywhere to mount it. Like it doesn't look like there's an actual mounting hole anywhere, so I don't know where Blue had it mounted.
That's pretty damn loud.
It'll take a second, but
it sounds good.
Yeah, it'll take a second, but then it'll die down. You'll be able to hear it chop.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. What's the cams? What is it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's pretty loud because I've got more like that push headers and end cams.
I like it. Off-road pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cats. No cats.
I'm not supposed to say that, but
That's right. Don't you do that.
I'm trying to conclude the video. People keep pulling up and talking to me, like my neighbors, police officers, everyone. I'm trying to conclude the video here. The moral to the story is that if you have a Terminator Cobra, no matter what, things are gonna break a lot, or at least in my experience. I have a lot of miles, things break a lot. And instead of getting bent out of shape about it, I just record, tell you guys about it, and then hopefully help you guys if you have some sort of issue. I had the throttle bearing issue, and then my throttle cable just decided to disconnect. But did a little research, and here's what I found out about Terminator Cobras. When you upgrade to something like an AccuFab throttle body, the bracket changes as well. And so what a lot of people do with the AccuFab throttle body and the changed bracket, or I'm not even sure if it's a different bracket. I pretty much never had a stock Cobra. I bought it and then had ProDyno install an AccuFab throttle body pretty much immediately. So I've always had it that way. A lot of people drill a little hole and put that cable through the hole, and it just holds pressure so that when you let off the throttle that it actually lets off and doesn't just stay open. So when mine just stayed open last night, it kind of scared me, and I was like, oh, and what it is that tension cable disconnected. What Blue Motorsports did is they plugged that tension cable in or linked it in where the cruise control cable goes, which is fine, like a lot of people do that. It just popped out. So to prevent that from ever happening again, we're gonna drill a small hole and we're just gonna put that tension cable there, and then hopefully this never happens again. So my dad just got here. Hopefully he has the right drill bit size for that hole that we need to create. So this is what mine looks like right now. There's a lot of people, they make a hole somewhere and they just put this into this linkage kind of through a hole. Mine doesn't have that. So Blue had just put this line through the end of the, what is it called? The cruise control hole, which my cruise control is not hooked up, but they had this line put through the end of the cruise control hole in the back. You can actually see very slightly where there are some scrapes there, where he put the line right there to get it right there. This is what people typically do. As you can see, there's like a little hole in the middle. Should be kind of in the middle there. There's not a hole, so that's what we're gonna do. And I think that's the safer way to do it, just so that it's definitely in a small hole and it's not gonna come back out. We made the hole. All I gotta do is get it through the hole. That's what she said. I had to say it, guys. I'm sorry. I might have to use two hands. This is a very delicate process. Come on, come on. I just want you to get through that hole. Why are you so tight? Bit was just ever so slightly too small. So we're gonna have to move to the next bit, and that should be the right size to get that little thing to fit all the way through the bracket. Yep. So now we just gotta test it and make sure that it doesn't come out when I start it or anything. It's in there. It's not in there really a lot, but it shouldn't come out. It's under pressure, so let's see. So to end this video off, I just want to say a couple things to you guys, and listen up because this is really important. Number one, when someone rolls up to me, no matter who that is, when they just roll up to me and say, hey man, I follow you on Instagram, I've seen your videos, I've heard your car around Gastonia, awesome car, man, like it inspires me. Just when someone rolls up to me and says something like that, it makes my day every single time. And I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate that, and it's literally what keeps me going, because you see me on YouTube and Instagram, I'm not growing super fast. I haven't gotten that viral video yet. I'm grinding. I'm in the trenches, right? I've been doing this for 8 years. And the thing that keeps me going is you guys. When you come up to me and say something, when you DM me, and I just want to show you that I appreciate you so freaking much. Secondly, I didn't plan this video. This video is completely random. It's just like my life with the car. This is kind of just a slice of life video with Jordan and the Cobra. This is kind of what happens with me. Things break, people come up to me, want to hear my car. I fix things, other things break. I'm dealing with things, learning things. That's just kind of my life with the car, and I'm sure that you guys have very, very similar experiences. You're just not filming every bit of it and putting it on YouTube. The one thing I've been saying to all you guys, like especially on Instagram and the DMs, is like, this is just what it's really like to own a Terminator Cobra. Most YouTube content creators are not making videos about all the things that break on Terminator Cobras, especially me, really high mileage, having to like fix a bunch of things and restore a bunch of things and rebuild a bunch of things. This is really how it is from someone who is not a mechanic. I'm a filmmaker. And so I'm kind of learning every single day. I didn't know that there was a spring that kept tension on your throttle cable that could easily come off just randomly. I didn't know that until yesterday. Now I know that. And the third and the last thing that I want to say, I love the fact that anyone can just walk up to me and feel like they know me and just be like, hey Jordan, what's up, man? I really wanted to see your car in person, hear your car in person. It's so cool. I know that the US is on fire. I know that there's so much negativity on the internet and in the world right now that I just want to spread a little bit of positivity and say like, hey, whoever you are, whatever you look like, whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter to me. You can come up and talk to me. We can talk about cars, we can talk about whatever. Like, and that's it. That is it. Spread love. Let's make some people smile. Let's spread some love. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this random ass video. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you have a question or you just wanna say hey, and share the video if you wanna, make someone else smile or maybe teach someone about a throwout bearing or a throttle cable thing. Yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Much love.